Good evening and welcome to WMRT today. I'm Hannah White and I'm joining you live from Hamilton Harbour, Bermuda for the Argo Group Gold Cup. It's the 7th event on the World Match Racing Tour 2011 and I can tell you, sadly, we haven't got off to quite the exciting start that we were hoping for. Bermuda hasn't delivered on its weather today and we only managed to get one flight in of racing today, and with 24 teams we've still got a lot of work to do before the end of the week where we can crown somebody champion here in Bermuda. But I'm joined here now with Les Crane, who is Vice Chairman of the event here, the Argo Group Gold Cup. Les, tell me a little bit about the conditions that you normally have here in Hamilton Harbour.
You mean the conditions we'll have tomorrow, we hope?
Yes, that's what we hope for.
It's supposed to be wind from the northwest, 12 to 18. So it's very flat right now. We had really some strong squalls earlier today. It's flat now. It'll build through the evening, 12 to 18 tomorrow morning, we hope. Northwest, so that means that the windward mark will be in front of the Princess. The leeward mark will be down off Newstead. But it's also supposed to be sunny. So we'll have there'll be some cloud, but it'll be nice.
And what was responsible for the weather here today? Because it's been quite extraordinary. I've heard all sorts of conversations about cold fronts and things like that. And of course we've got hurricanes and tropical storms sitting just off the coast.
We had Hurricane Ophelia go by on Saturday night. And it was amazing, actually. There was 50 millibars of difference between the pressure here in Bermuda and the center of the eye of the storm, which is only 120 miles to the east of us. And despite that huge differential, the winds were pretty moderate here. Maybe 20 knots, 25 knots. Nothing like we'd get in a normal winter storm.
Okay, and so with 12 to 18 knots forecasted tomorrow, is that good conditions for these boats, the IODs?
It's perfect. It's just absolutely perfect. It's our problem. If looking forward through the week, we're going to have the same sort of wind, but it's going to be building going into Friday. There's another hurricane or tropical storm system that's expected to only get to 350 miles or so to our southeast on Thursday morning. That's going to build the weather. The problem, if we have one in the balance of the week, might be Friday when we have too much wind. The forecast for Friday is either sort of 25 knots of wind. So that could be interesting when we have our Pro-Am on Friday.
Okay, well, obviously Bermuda hasn't delivered to today, but this is what Bermuda is normally like here at the Gold Cup.
Perfect. Right.
Thank you. So hopefully we'll see some of that action here later on in the week, with forecasts due to build between 12 and 18 knots later on in the week. But now I'm joined here by local sailor Blythe Walker. Now Blythe, we just heard in the press conference you did your first Bermuda Gold Cup 24 years ago, is that right?
That was an on-the-spot recollection, but I have to say it was before the professional format in the Great Sound against the likes of John Coleus and guys like that. So it was a while back, yeah.
So just tell us, for those at home watching this who don't know anything about the Argo Group Gold Cup, what makes it such a special event? We've got some very different boats here for a start, haven't we?
Yeah, the International One designs are nothing like you'll find on the tour. They're a meter boat. 12 meters is probably the closest thing the guys have raced. Actually, probably not on this tour. Gilmore, maybe the last of the dying breed. But they're slow turn, overhangs, and if you get into trouble, you can get hooked very easily and basically pinned out of a start or in trouble.
Okay, and what about Hamilton Harbour? I mean, obviously, what a spectacular setting here in Bermuda for the Gold Cup. But what are the quirks locally? I mean, what weather conditions can we expect here? There are a lot of buildings on the shore. What are the local conditions like?
Yeah, I think when the breeze is across the harbor, and last year was pretty much across the harbor for the whole week, it's very tricky. It's like lake sailing. You know, the harbor's half a mile wide, and the course stretches, and it's hills on both sides, so it's very fluky. Even if you've got the lead, it doesn't mean you're going to stay there, because a competitor 4 boat lengths away maybe get a different puff and just manage to lift off you and things like that. So, I mean, it's tough. And the other interesting thing that I find is that because it's a pretty small amphitheater, you end up starting right along the dock. So you may find, you know, guys sitting on the dock with their legs over, having to get out of the way when the boom comes smashing into the dock or something like that, which keeps the excitement up, you know. And we saw Jesper Raddick on the rocks this morning, so I guess that's another hazard of the bay. So.
And for you, I mean, you've got quite a strong team coming in here. You must want to cause a little bit of an upset.
Indeed, every year we look forward to causing an upset, but some years it works, some years it doesn't, and we're hoping for the best this year. There's a couple guys in the group I haven't sailed against yet, so despite having done a number of Gold Cups, so looking forward to that.
And taking your competitor's hat off for a minute, if you were to place your money on anybody here, especially our tour card holders, who do you think has the best chance of doing well here this week?
That's a tough call. I mean, so many past Gold Cup winners sitting at the table. I'm not going to put my money on any one of them just yet, but I'd say the odds are definitely with the top 5 on the tour right now. You know, Bruni being the unknown, having not had the experience in the boat, so I'm looking forward to how he adapts. He seems positive, but we'll see.
Okay, well, Blythe Walker, local sailor here from Bermuda, competing here this week. Now, do remember that the Bermuda Gold Cup is the 7th event on the World Match Racing Tour, and we have been racing all season to get here. We've got one more event to go after this, so the pressure is really building. But here's what happened so far this year.
Damien Liel crosses the finish line to win Match Race France. Bruni wins and takes Match Race Germany.
Bjorn Hansen is the new king of the Korea Match Cup.
And Ian Williams takes the second race and the win here in Portugal. Williams wins Stena Match Cup Sweep.
We hadn't quite had the results we wanted earlier in the year. To have a little bit go our way and take the win here has given us a lot of confidence to catch back up to, you know, Francesco and Ian.
We are going to try to fight until the last moment to get a little closer to have a chance in Malaysia.
I think we're the only one really with a whole set of good results going into Bermuda, so it takes the pressure off us a little bit and actually puts it back on some of the other guys.
Well, of course, there's only one reason why we're down here on the dock this afternoon at the Argo Group Gold Cup, and that is because, sadly, everybody is packing up for the day. There has been very little breeze here in Bermuda and Hamilton this afternoon. So little, in fact. We only managed to get one flight in today. But I've come down onto the dock to see some of our Group 1 sailors and find out a little bit more about the weather conditions. We've got Bjorn Hansen just here on the boat behind us, just wrapping up his jib, and I'm hoping that he'll be able to come and have a chat with me in a second. As I say, just one flight today, which when we have 24 teams is not many to get through on day one. Bjorn, tell me a little bit about the weather conditions that we've seen today.
It was a lot of rain. We had to bail the boat a couple of times, and we've been out I think 3 or 4 times on the harbour here, and unfortunately it wasn't very much wind, so we managed to get one race through. But I guess the race committee had a really tough day today to try and get some races through. But no, it's been a tough day.
It's not the conditions that we were expecting to see here in Bermuda. We're all wearing shorts, hoping for beach-type conditions, and we've had a lot of rain. And we're actually sandwiched between two hurricanes at the moment here.
Yeah, that's true. But, well, you know that you can always expect anything here on Bermuda. It can be really windy or it can be really light. But just as you said, the forecasts for today were looking pretty good. So, well, here we are a little bit surprised, but it's another day tomorrow.
Yes, and tell me about tomorrow. Have you looked at the forecast?
Yeah, it's supposed to be better, but you never know. I mean, it changed very quickly. Just as you said, it's two hurricanes quite close here, and they affect the weather system quite much. So, but according to the conditions, to the forecast, it should be about 10 to 15 knots tomorrow. So it looks really good.
Okay, and is it frustrating? You've been hanging around all day. There are a lot of teams here just waiting for something to happen.
No, it's a lot of bullshitting going around in here. Everyone talking to everyone, and it's quite fun to have a day like this now and then. And looking forward to some good sailing tomorrow. And well, we're trying to focus, even if we sit in there, and prepare to go out sailing. Well, like 5 minutes later, but. As I said, it's a lot of fun stories going on in there.
Okay, Bjorn, thank you very, very much, and good luck tomorrow. I can also see Adrian Lee and Partners sailing team coming off their boat, Nick Blackman. I'm hoping we'll have a chat with Jesper Radek, skipper of that team, in just a second. Hi, Jesper. How are you?
I'm very good, you?
Yes, very well, thank you. A long, frustrating day for you with not much sailing.
I mean, the funny thing is that the last few regattas I've done in other classes also, there's been so little breeze, so I'm actually getting used to it, you know, chatting around with the boys and being on the iPhone a little bit, and I guess we just have to, you know, get ready for the action.
Now, is this a favourite regatta of yours? You did extremely well here last year, coming second.
Well, looking at our results, or my results, through the last few years, I guess it is. I wouldn't, you know, think about these boats being anything particularly good for me. I think I'm more like a aggressive match racing type guy. With these heavy boats, you have to be, you know, really patient. So, but in the end, apparently it works out for me.
And you're looking forward to this week? You got high hopes. You need a really good score here to help boost your position on the leaderboard right now.
I mean, I probably lost hopes a little bit of making the top of the podium for the tour, but I mean, we still got, you know, one podium position to fight for, I think, and at least, you know, a good result on the final event. So for sure, let's take some points home.
Okay, thank you very much, Jesper. Well, of course, that is it here in Bermuda for the Gold Cup. Sadly, only one flight today, but we are assured of some breeze tomorrow, hopefully. And with Group 2 heading out first thing in the morning, we should get some good action. I'll be back in the morning with a programme ahead of that action, of course, and we will be joining you live between midday and 2 o'clock local time.